There's two things that are kind of going on that suggest maybe thinking about hedging your portfolio a bit, maybe taking some profits, being a little bit patient here, because two things are about to happen. First of all, buybacks are about to go into blackout, so we're going to lose that buying pressure. And right now, there is absolutely no love for puts. I mean, put hate is at very high levels right now. Here's what you need to know before the bell this morning. Markets had a rare down day yesterday. We haven't seen a lot of down days in the market lately. And this kind of really this relentless run that we've seen in the market since the April lows, it's been absolutely phenomenal. Market's up 3% for the year. If you had gone to bed in January and just woke up, you would not even know that we had a near 20% correction. I mean, it's been over very quickly. Markets are back in a very bullish trend. Here's the thing to be paying attention to. So first of all, it was interesting this morning. I posted this on X. We had a massive surge in the month of April in stock buyback announcements. It was well above the record of any previous year on record. And buybacks have really become a thing really since post the financial crisis is where buybacks really started to take off, and it becoming a significant part of what's been happening in terms of the net buying of equities in the markets really post financial crisis. This past month was the largest jump on record. It was actually quite phenomenal. But that's where a lot of this buying pressure came from for stocks. Now, that window is closing, as we talked about before. That starts on Monday, and we're about to get in July. So again, there's two things that are kind of going on that suggest maybe thinking about hedging your portfolio a bit, maybe taking some profits, being a little bit patient here, because two things are about to happen. First of all, buybacks are about to go into blackout, so we're going to lose that buying pressure. And right now, there is absolutely no love for puts. I mean, put hate is at very high levels right now. In other words, nobody wants to buy insurance for their portfolio. Why spend the money on buying a put if the market's just going to keep going up? Typically, when you get very low levels of puts being bought for, kind of hedging purposes, that's typically very near market peaks. And again, so we're about to get into earnings season. If we have any type of weakness in earnings, the lack of buybacks, and then, of course, anything that potentially triggers the market, and seasonality, the end of June, beginning of July tend to be weak just from a kind of a seasonality standpoint. So we're kind of in that really good position here for a bit of a pullback. Again, not a crash. The markets aren't going to do that. But if you've been looking for a better opportunity to put some capital to work, we may get that here in the next few weeks to the next month as we kind of get into early earnings season and that buyback window kind of goes into full blackout mode. So it really kind of sets us up here for potentially a retracement back to kind of this cluster of support right around the 200, 100-day moving average. That's around 57.80. So again, the market's trading a little over 6,000 right now. Get a pullback to 57.80. That's about 200 points. That's a decent entry point. That deviation from the 200-day moving average and really the 50-day has gotten large enough to kind of let that gravity start to pull prices back here. So one of the things you may want to kind of start looking at in your portfolio is things that have had really big gains, particularly in areas of the more risky assets. If you take a look at the most shorted stocks, they have been the main drivers of this market return over the last few weeks. So a lot of short covering. That short covering's been completed. So again, in stocks that have had really, really big moves like Oklo, CCJ, others, Kamiko, especially in some of the more speculative areas, take a little profit there. And look for a pullback to re-add to your position. You'll get a better entry point here. It's just a function of time. So you just have to be a little bit patient. But don't forget to take a little money off the table, rebalance risk in your portfolio. That's what you need to know before the bell.